What's going on, y'all? It's the Cool Teacher here today to show you how to find the greatest common factor between two numbers. As you can see, the two numbers I have here today are 24 and 48. Now, before we get into it, let me tell you what factors are. Factors are the numbers that you multiply to find an answer. So, for instance, if I have 3 and 4, those are factors to give me 12. So the factors are the numbers that multiply to give me, in this case, 24 and also 48. So when I list my factors, I start it like this. I'm gonna start with my 24, and then I basically just kind of list them out. If I have 24, I'm gonna think of two numbers that multiply to give me 24, okay? Remember, these are gonna be pairs of numbers because I have to multiply one number and another number to give me my 24. I always start with the smallest number too. In this case, it's going to be 1. 1 times what gives me 24? Well, 1 times 24 gives me 24. From here, I just start counting up one by one. So after 1, what's the next number? 2. Is 2 going to 24? Well, 24 is an even number, so I know 2 works. So 2 and 12 give me 24. After 2, what comes? I have 3. Does 3 times anything give me 24? Well, if I look at my 3 times table, 3 times 8 gives me 24. After 3, what comes? I have 4. Does 4 times anything give me 24? If I look at my 4 times tables, 4 times 6 gives me 24. After 4, what number comes? I have 5. Does 5 times anything give me 24? It doesn't. So I don't have to list 5 because 5 doesn't work. And what comes after 5? 6. And I already have 6 on this side. So that's how I know I'm done. I've counted up one by one, and when I ask for a number and it's already on the right-hand side, I know that I'm done. So I'm gonna go ahead and now list my factors for 48. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing. Always start with the lowest number, which I know is 1. 1 times what gives me 48? 1 times 48. Then I have 2. Does 2 times anything give me 48? 48 is an even number, so I know 2 goes into it, and it goes into it 24 times. Now 3, does 3 times anything give me 48? Well, when I look at it, I don't really see 48 on the 3 times table. This is where you can use your divisibility rules, and if you need to know how to use the divisibility rules, I'll link that above. Or you can just straight up divide it to see if it works. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just kind of come down here and divide it and see if that works. So yes, it does go in. 3 goes into 48 16 times. So I'll put 3 and 16. All right, what comes after 3? 4. And now I'm back to my times tables. 4 times 12 gives me 48 because that's on my 4 times tables. After 4, what comes? 5. And I know 5 doesn't work because this number doesn't end in 0 or 5. So that's not going to be it. After 5 comes 6. Does 6 work? Well, once again, I'm going to reference the divisibility rules. If 2 and 3 work, then 6 works. And also, on your 6 times table, 6 times 8 gives me 48. What comes after 6? 7. If I look at my 7 times tables, 48 is not on there. 49 is, but not 48. What comes after 7? 8. And 8 is already on this side, so I know I have all of my factors. Once you know you have all your factors for both numbers, you're going to look for the greatest number, okay? And when I go ahead and look here, once I have all my factors, I'm going to look for the greatest number. Now, a lot of people, first thing they'll look at, they'll look, oh, 6, because they're right next to each other, they're pretty close. But remember, we're looking for the greatest common factor. That's what the G stands for. I have a 24 here. I'll also have a 24 here. So my GCF is going to be 24. Now, if you see this empty space over here, that means there's another way to do it. I'm going to show you that way too. Now, a lot of people call this the tree method. Mathematically, it's called the prime factorization. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. I already know what the greatest common factor is, 24. So if I do my prime factorization right, I should get the right answer. I'm going to start with 24. And when I do prime factorization, basically what I'm doing is breaking this number down into prime numbers. I know you're probably like, what the heck is a prime number? A prime number is a number that only one in itself can go into. Not using fractions or decimals, literally just one in itself. That's what prime numbers are. So we're going to break 24 down into prime numbers. We do that by asking, what two numbers multiply to give us 24? However you break it down, because I know there's a lot of numbers that go to give me 24. It doesn't matter the numbers you pick, as long as we don't start with 1 and 24. Because if we do that, the tree will just go on forever. So we can pick whatever numbers we want. So I'll go ahead and start with 3 and 8. 3 times 8 gives me 24. Now I'm gonna go ahead and circle my prime numbers and you'll see why in a second. As for 8, what numbers multiply to give us 8? Well, I have 2 and 4. 2 is prime, so I'm gonna circle that. And what multiplies to give us 4? 2 and 2. Both of these are prime, so I'm gonna circle these. So all the prime numbers for 24 are 3, 2, 2, and 2. Cool. I'm gonna do the same thing for 48. What two numbers multiply to give us 48? Well, I have 6 and 8. None of those are prime, so I gotta keep breaking both of those down. Let's do the 6 first. What multiplies to give us 6? 2 and 3. Both of these are prime, so I'll circle both of these. What numbers multiply to give us 8? Well, I have 4 and I have 2. 2 is prime, so I'm gonna circle it. And what multiplies to give us 4? We already know that from over here. 2 and 2. Both prime, so I'll circle those. At this point, you're probably like, all right, so what am I doing now? I just broke it down and circled numbers. Well, this is how we figure out our greatest common factor after we've done all of this. You look for pairs of matching numbers. 3 and 3 match, so I'm gonna bring 3 down here. This 2 and this 2 match, so I'm gonna bring this 2 down here. This 2 and this 2 match, so I'm gonna bring this 2 down here. And I have a 2 here and a 2 here. These 2 match, so I'm gonna bring this 2 down here. So I have all the matching pairs underlined and color coded so you can see where they came from. You're probably like, well, what happens with this 2 over here? Well, this 2 has nothing to match with over here, so I can't bring it down. What I'm gonna do now is multiply all of these together. And when I multiply these all together, 3 times 2 gives me 6. 6 times 2 gives me 12. And 12 times 2 gives me 24. And those are your 2 ways of finding the greatest common factor. Pick whichever way works best for you and use that. If this helped you, send it to somebody else so you can help them. Other than that, this is the Cool Teacher, and I'm out.